Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Chelsey. I collect cute things, I make cute things, I sell cute things, I just really like cute things. In today's video, I'm focusing on the making of things, however, because I am making the single most cutest otter charms you have ever seen. I actually had this little silicone mold here, which I bought like a couple of years ago, and it really inspired me just to make some little otters because it's actually like a little seashell kind of mold, and I was like, what am I going to make with this? Like, I have no idea why I bought this, and I thought, I know. Otters, they hold shells, it's going to be adorable. So yeah, I've made them and I'm really happy with them, so I'm just going to get straight on into the DIY on how I made my little otter charms. So to make these charms, I actually used white polymer clay just because I ran out of my beige one. If you hadn't seen my last polymer clay video where I made the little Sanrio charms, I actually ran out of the clay and I ended up using white in this one, so I definitely need to get on and order myself some more off Amazon. I always buy my polymer clay from Amazon, by the way, in the £1 bars. It works out so much cheaper than buying in like places such as Hobbycraft and everything like that. I still do pick it up from time to time in there if I'm like wanting a certain colour or just like in an emergency, but yeah, Amazon's usually the place to get it for the cheapest. So to make the otter charm, I just rolled out a small ball of polymer clay, added a bit of craft white in there to act as a bit of, you know, a stabilisation, a bit of stability added into there. And I added another small ball of polymer clay just to make the otter's body. To add on the arms, I just made these little tiny balls by rolling small pieces of clay with my index finger on my ceramic tile. You can just do this by rolling it in the palm of your hands, and you just want to add that on in the place of the arms as so. I did use my Cricut tool to help me out there. I found using my Cricut tool is a great clay tool. Like, as amazing this weeding tool is for, you know, weeding with the Cricut machine and sticker making and everything like that, and vinyl, it's great for clay. You need a tool like this if you're working with clay. Anyway, I added two other small balls of polymer clay, as you can see, just in the opposite kind of direction, acting like the little otter's feet, as if they were like kind of facing upwards. With another piece of craft wire here, using my wire cutters, I ended up inserting this piece right down into the bottom kind of back piece of the otter, just sticking out like so. Hopefully you can see that if I put it over my hand, see, just a tiny bit. And I actually took a small ball of polymer clay again, rolled it out and just kind of rolled it into like a snake, almost like a triangle like shape from that ball, just really kind of tapering it down to the edge, as you can see that sort of shape, just really simple. And then I just slotted that over the wire, being careful not to push it into the otter's body, and I just placed that on over the wire, making sure that the clay covered that just to make the tail, as well as obviously the wire there providing a little bit more stability for the tail as well. For the ears of the otters, I wanted these to be nice and 3D, so I added two teeny tiny little balls of clay to either side, then used the Cricut tool again just to shape that out. So I just kind of indented the tip of the tool in. You can use like a pin or a dotting tool if you obviously don't have a Cricut tool hanging around. A pen might work, or a really sharp pencil, just to give some indent into the ear and then just kind of shape it down into place. I inserted an eye pin into the very top of the otter's head. Once that was done, my otter shape was then complete. I made sure that all the tail and everything was fully pointed, the arms were round, all before baking, but I just popped them into the oven, so I made 5 in total, by the way, here they all are. Put them in the oven for 110 degrees Celsius, I should say, for around about 30 minutes. To paint these, I just used my usual trick of blue tacking them down to a ceramic tile, so I was able to paint, you know, more than one side at a time. And I just mixed up my own colours, and I wanted them to be like a pastel rainbow kind of, you know, thing going on. I had this like vision in my mind of how I wanted them to look, so I wanted them in pastel colours. So I made a pink, a purple, a blue, a mint, and like a yellowy beigey colour. Just love them, absolutely love how these colours turn out. They look a bit wishy-washy onto my camera because I'm using my studio lights, but in person they're gorgeous pastel colours. You could probably see them a bit better there, like that colour. Ooh, lovely. I took some white acrylic paint and just painted on ovals onto each of their faces, making sure to take enough time and care to make sure that they're not on the bodies or arms, anything like that. Just a small semicircle along the bottom of their heads, and yeah, taking up probably around about a third, 2/3 of their base. Once I had the white on, I then moved on to like this beige colour that I mixed up, and I just painted on the inside kind of front portion of their ears. So I did that just by taking one ear at a time, just to paint it on with a teeny tiny paintbrush that I actually have. This paintbrush is by the brand Royal and Langnickel, which is a paint brand here in the UK. Not sure if this is a brand that's like worldwide, but their paintbrushes are amazing and I would recommend using them. If you can't get hold of them, I would recommend using nail art brushes that you can usually find in places such as Home Bargains or Poundland. Paintbrushes in the nail art section are often really small and really good for those details. Once I had those bits of paint on, I just went ahead and glazed the whole piece so that when I painted the face on, if I messed them up, I could, you know, wipe it off. Whilst that was all glazing down with UV resin and underneath the UV light, I just took this small, tiny little mould, which I actually bought from Miniature Suite Hong Kong a couple of years ago now. I'm not sure if they still have this on their website, but if they do, I'll leave a link down below. And it is just a 3D nail, apparently, like mold, silicone mold, and it's full of little shells. So I filled them up with UV resin and just cured that under my UV light. Once that was still curing down and everything like that, I went back to the otter charms and painted on their little faces. In order to do this, I used a Posca paint pen. I find Posca paint pens are absolutely great for putting on little faces, especially when using, you know, black and you might get it wrong. I also find that it's really easy to remove like a alcohol wipe if you get it wrong. So if you glaze it first and put your faces on after, it's really easy just to wipe off if you get them wrong. The exact Posca paint pen I'm using is the PC1MR with the metal nib. I find this to be the best at getting teeny tiny circles on like so, and yeah, it doesn't like, you know, drag on and spit out like little bits of ink or anything as you go, because it is the metal nib. You get a little bit more control on shiny surfaces. Going back to the shells, however, I kind of like demolded the UV resin from the mini silicone mold. These worked amazingly and the details on them are so well, and the UV resin took to that really well. So I just took some blue tack, kind of like tapered it up at the top, and then popped the little shell kind of UV resin little bits on there and just painted them in with some acrylic paint. So I painted some with the cream colour, white colours and some pinks, and just kind of mixed that around, had a little bit of fun with those, and they made the teeniest tiniest little shells you ever did see. To glue them onto the otters, I just took some super glue, just added them down and glued each shell in between their little hands, which are pointed forward. Thought this was just a lovely little touch, and to be honest, this little mold was the reason that I did these, because I was like, what am I going to use this mold for? I thought, oh, it'd be lovely if I could make some otters. Then I couldn't find any like really cute little polymer clay otters online, so I thought perfect opportunity to just make my own. With the final pink one, I did go ahead and make another one of those starfish ones because I thought that looks so cute on like the mint one over there. So yeah, I threw out one of the bigger shells that I didn't like and I just popped another starfish on. Once that was all glued on, everything had like settled down and fully secured. I just cured the whole thing again, making sure to really get under those shells and over them just to make sure that they were all kind of bonded to the otters. As you can see here, this is what the otters looking like all over once the whole thing had been cured down with a little bit of glitter added and everything like that. Once they were done, I was able to add the metal findings. So in order to do that, I just added double split rings using my kind of split ring plier thingy to separate those, using another pair of pliers just to twirl that into the eye ring or eye pin into the top of the otters, and added on a little lobster clasp as I went. Once the lobster clasps and the double split rings were all attached, my charms were then complete. I absolutely love how the colours have turned out. I think they look absolutely adorable, and yeah, that's how the little charms have turned out. I absolutely love them. And that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I will be listing these little otter charms on my next shop update, so stay tuned for that if it haven't happened already. No, it wouldn't have happened already, because I am pre-filming this so that I have the charms ready for the shop update. So yeah, really happy with how they've turned out. Love all the colours. Let me know which one of the 5 was your favourite. I just want to say a huge thank you if you've made it this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching anyway, and I will see you very soon for another video.